welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. I got my good friend on here, Charles Alvarez. Charles is an extremely effective business coach and consultant, marketing, really in the spheres of marketing and in sales, which are obviously two of the hottest areas out there. And always love to get an opportunity. First of all, usually we're talking to guests. Occasionally we are talking just one-on-one on what's happening out there. And good to see you.
Good to see you too, Kevin.
So, and we're getting one of those opportunities today. Talk a little bit about what's going on out there when it comes to the business front today and business owners and the whole arena of sales and marketing. But let's talk a little bit about the history of your company. How long have you been doing what you're doing?
I've been doing what I've been doing for about 19 years.
Okay. And so even, 19 years, that was kind of a slow period in the economy as well. Early 1990s, there was the kind of the Bush recession going on at that time, Bush number one. And so that was a good time. It's even tougher now, so I think people need what you do now even more than then.
Well, the thing that's interesting is that back then is, and it's funny because I talked to because I have my own business consultant, business coach, whatever you want to call them. And back then it was a lot easier. You really only had direct mail, the telephone, and TV.
Right.
Think about all the tools we have now, social media. And it's not just 2 or 3 social media sites. My gosh, how many of them are out there? There's just tons of them. So
yeah, I theorize that it doesn't create more opportunities to get your message out. It creates more opportunities for your message not to get through.
That's exactly correct. And where you had to know how to market yourself using 3 media sources, radio, TV, direct mail, telephone. Now you have to say, okay, I think I counted 77 marketing tactics to use. So there's no way that you can be an expert at all 77 because it's not just what the media is how do we use it to where it reaches and gets the attention of my target market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so people have to think more effectively. They have to think smarter. This is where trying to figure out some type of relationship with someone becomes very important, and rather than the discontinued mass distraction towards people who are already being overwhelmed by mass distraction. Yeah,
which really means, and I know that a lot of people get sick and tired of hearing this word, differentiation. You really have to be able to differentiate yourself. And you know what I find to be the most effective strategy for that, Kevin, is to just be yourself. Mm-hmm. If you try to copy somebody else's marketing strategies or tactics, you're going to end up sounding like them. So it's going to come across as weird, inauthentic, and you're just going to be just like the other guys. So you have the higher chance of setting you up as a commodity. So you really have to really differentiate yourself. As a matter of fact, I saw on Yahoo that less than 2% of the companies out there can effectively differentiate themselves from the competition. That's why the first thing we spend time on is saying, okay, what makes you different than any other, either radio talk show host, which by the way, Kevin's a great one, or recruiting firm or engineering firm. What makes you different than the other guy? Why should they choose you? What is your competitive advantage?
Yeah, and that's often a question that they've heard a million times, but, I've answered in kind of a rote way without any real clear thinking on it. And this is why those little things like developing a mission statement and those characteristics that your values, those type of things, actually having those developed, I think, are really important. And those are some of the things, by the way, as a client of yours, I don't have a formal mission statement, but I do have an elevator speech that differentiates me from anyone else out there. And I think those type of things are very crucial.
And I'm actually not that big of a fan, actually, of a mission statement.
Okay.
Because, a mission statement that has this connotation of something you do at this retreat, everybody has a good time, you all do these ropes courses and all this stuff, and you come back with this mission statement and nobody ever reads it again.
Right.
Whereas an elevator pitch or a value statement, whatever you want to call it, to me, what that does is it connects your mission for your purpose to being in business all at the same time. It's one sentence. You can typically remember it. I've got one and I use it, all the time, and it never comes out the same twice.
Right.
Because my personality comes through a different way depending on the person that I'm talking to, because my message for somebody who's an engineering or owns an engineering firm is obviously going to be a little bit different than one who owns a oil and gas services company.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, when you look at what's happening out there, kind of give me a breakdown of your type of clients. In what industries? Is there certain verticals that gravitate towards you over others, for example?
There are 4 verticals that tend to gravitate more toward us. The first one is recruiting firms. because they're a sales organization. They have a difficult time differentiating themselves from the others. And they get asked all the time, why should I choose you versus anybody else? And then they can't really articulate it, so guess what they get into? They get into a price war. Second is financial services, insurance, financial planning, that kind of stuff. I have some experience in that area. Third one is oil services, because a lot of those professional recruiting firms work with oil service companies, so I tend to get referred to them. And then the fourth one that I tend to do a lot of work with is marketing firms, direct mail, social media firms, because although they may be good at a particular trade, it's kind of like me. The reason I have a business coach is because of the same reason Jack Nicklaus had a golf coach, because I can't see my own swing.
Right.
So sometimes those guys who you would think would know a lot about marketing may not know a lot about marketing their own firm. So I work with those quite a few.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And so, I'm a big advocate of coaching. I don't care how good you are. You need someone who can give you that objectivity, that third-party objectivity. And you talked about Jack Nicklaus, but, Tiger Woods, who would think he has a coach? He does. Yeah. And every successful athlete, virtually every successful business leader has a coach. And so are there certain industries that you gravitate away from?
Yes, we typically do not deal with doctors and attorneys and CPA firms.
Right, because they have a real problem grappling with this idea that they're in sales at all.
That is correct. That is their perception. They consider themselves, white collar, which they are. And they just think that, there's no need for, getting to the next level, and they can probably figure it out on themselves. So, it's kind of like I had a friend of mine who's getting into business coaching. He actually got into a year ago. And he goes, Charles, how do you sell coaching? And I said, I don't. It's that simple. Here's what I do. Here's what I can offer. I can't make somebody want to grow their business.
Yeah.
But if you do want to grow your business, that's the people that I want to talk to.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you got teachability is probably the single most important attribute for any potential client.
Absolutely. And what I find interesting is it's amazing that Fortune 500 companies hire consultants, business coaches, trainers all the time. But for some reason, most small business owners don't think they need any help. I cannot tell you, if you're a small business owner listening to this, we're not meant to do this alone. I tried it. It doesn't work. The results are catastrophic. And I would highly recommend that you get some form of help, even if it's a workshop, even if it's you go to a, some seminar or whatever. Do something to allow somebody to speak into your life to get your business to the next level.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, and I agree with that. There's a reason why. And, of course, people think, oh, well, that's because they can afford it. Well, the reality is they can't afford not to have it, is the way those successful companies, Fortune 500 companies, look at it. And the thing about it is that there is high-quality consulting and coaching available at every price level, from a couple $100 a month to tens of thousands of a month, if you want to pay for that, or hundreds of thousands, depending on the economy of scale. And so people need to, do some shopping. What I like about what you've done is, yes, you have a very high level service geared towards Fortune 500 companies, but you provide virtual coaching that virtually any firm can afford.
Yeah, just go to cornerstonebusinessacademy.com. As a matter of fact, we give you the first 10 videos for free. A lot of people think that I'm nuts for doing that. Just go put your first name and email address. You'll get 10 free videos that finds at least $10,000 per month, and you'll really get to see firsthand for yourself, what a little bit of advice can do for you. It's not nothing I do is rocket science. It's just sometimes, like I said, sometimes you're not seeing your own swing.
Yeah, very, very good. All right. Again, Charles Alvarez, and he is a sales coach and marketing coach extraordinaire. We talk a lot about the sales times, but the next time we get an opportunity where it's just you and me and we don't have a guest, we'll talk about the marketing side, which are helping people in that effect. You've worked with my firm mainly on the sales front, and it's been extraordinary and really added value to my clients, not just me. It's been awesome what you do. But we'll talk about that in the future. And again, it's cornerstonebusinessacademy.com. cornerstonebusinessacademy.com. Charles Alvarez. Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, much more for you. We want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usadailyreview.com, and this is The Price of Business.